Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a very special and probably the first ever edition to Goosebumps HorrorTown Revisited Special. This is the special type of content. Think of it as a bonus material for past events moving forward. These are going to be looking at the special bundles that comes with these games, past events type of deal. And it probably is going to evolve for the other content, but for now, this is going to be the first draft, and I guess look at it as a pilot. And how fitting, because our first look is going to be that of Bad Hair Day. Now, I did a video about Bad Hair Day, or more specifically, the That's No Easter Bunny event back in 2019 of April. That was supposed to be the April Easter update. And this was actually a second run of it. The first run was our first ever kind of beta test of it, and then we officially got, when the game was re-released, it officially came out in June and July as the first kind of content update. And it kind of played out like having one section be like the magic, and then when it came back in April, it was more focusing on Easter. What you'll notice is that when it comes to these contents, I tend to try to look at everything that it's included on here. Now, when I was talking about this back in part 0 of the That's No Easter Bunny event, I did mention that it was mostly talking about the event of former past and not so much of the book. So I'll mention the book briefly here. So the book roughly takes about a kid who aspires to be a magician, goes to the magic show, and then at some point ends up actually seeing a talking rabbit. The rabbit claims that, oh, I am this character, and he tricked me into doing this. Now, in the book, it was originally that the magician was actually just a mannequin, and in the episode, it was just, oh, this magician, he turned me because he was evil, and I need you to help me turn back to normal. So then the kid does. Then he's evil, and then he gets turned into a rabbit themselves and kind of left on this cliffhanger of like, oh, he could probably die, but hey, he's a magic, so whatever. Interesting facts with this update is the fact that there is actually an achievement within the Goosebumps the game, which is something when I played the game, I didn't know this until the time. But if you give Amaz-o, the talking rabbit, his hat, he'll then thank you, and then he'll disappear, and then that's the kind of little clip that you see here right there. The interesting fact, too, is that when Goosebumps was becoming a thing, the rabbit ended up becoming one of the main merchandising sales. You'll probably see them a lot, and the rabbit's considered to be that of Amaz-o from the book. And it's interesting when Tim drew this, because this had his shaken into a weird kind of long jaw type of creepy art style. But I digress with that. Anyways, yeah, I'm just all over the place. This is oh boy. Yeah, so you get the rough skinny din of this. So in this update, there are 3 types of characters we're going to be taking a look into. The first one is, of course, quote-unquote Amaz-o. Not really Amaz-o, but we'll go into that in the storyline. We got the magical assistant, who is very intriguing with their backstory. And of course, you got the spawn monsters, which are the, I guess, the horror rabbits, or I'm not sure what you call them, but they really remind me of that one Apocalypse movie that I think talked about in the comments section before at one point, but I'm not going to bother you with that. But you're probably interested, what is this update about? Well, the special books are a special section where every weekend you'll get an option to buy these things. Now, the first part about these is I'm going to actually show you what the contents entail for each one. And then I'm going to go through each chapter, and from there is going to look at everything in between. Now, something I will mention during this part is that this episode is going to be long, but don't think of all the episodes going to be long. There are going to be some that are shorter than others because I've basically talked about what I need to talk about in them, and I'll just showcase, go to the past preview. You'll also notice that this video will come into 2 different types of playlists, or 3 I should say. The first one is going to be the main Goosebumps HorrorTown one. Second one is going to be mostly the wherever this book is basically taking the event from. And then it's going to go in its own special catalog you probably will see. It's called the Revisited Special. And that's just going to basically kind of highlight and collect everything so that people have a good, oh, is this worth it kind of deal. And I get to show you a bit of what is there to come. So this is going to be interesting for me because I didn't get to show you, out of all the content I've showed you, the only book I haven't really looked into was this book, namely the first event. I came in when it was a second update, or the second seasonal update, which was the Bad Squeezers, which will be interesting when that comes back, but I digress. So, in this chapter, the first one, we're going to be taking a look into Amazing Jack's whole shtick. From there, we're going to go into Dustin's, and then we're going to go into the actual main story that I've covered before, but I've redubbed it because I wanted to make it more professional, what I like to think as being professional, hence why this was taking so long. Now, something I'll mention is that just because this is a revisited doesn't mean that everything here is going to be back. So you are going to be replaying the event, yes, and some content is going to come back from those updates, but not everything's going to come back. And I will mention these, and you can even see them for yourself within this update where this comes from, the seasonal updates. But anyways, in this context, everything from the past that's focusing on this story is back into this game. The only difference that you won't see is the references to the Magic Carnival or the Easter Carnival. Those kind of quest lines are not mentioned or shown. I'll show you what each content comes into, and, well, I've basically talked long enough with this introduction, so let's go into part 0. Or, not part 0, this is technically part 0. Man, God, Grim, what's wrong with you? Basically, what I meant to say was this is going to be looking into Chapter 1. So let's take a deep dive into the music. So this is taking place during when this first came up in July of 2020. And this is where the first book comes into here. So let's take a look at what this book has. Welcome to the horrific magic show of world's famous Amaz-o and his assistant. So that's a brief interest there. So now let's take a look into the first chapter. Chapter 1. Meet Amazing Jack and experience his quest for magical greatness. Will this be the end of his frustrated career or beginning of a new mystical journey? So there's 5 missions with Amaz-o. You would get these quests when you got him during the time, and what's interesting about this whole character is that he actually came back briefly in March during the Beast Beneath the Sink update. Anyway, so the grand prize here is the rabbit statue that was the grand prize from the Easter update that I've actually did a video on. So you can take a look into that. It's probably a really cool book prize and statue, I will give it credit. It would have been cooler if there was a little animation of like little eyes glowing, but whatever. It's better than nothing. You'll also see a bit of how these books will work, and near the end of this update or this video I should say, I will tell you whether or not this update or this particular update is worth getting invested in. So anyways, that's a close-up of the book and the coloring and all that stuff. So now, we're going to show you, this is where the bundle is. Every weekend it will pop up, so from Friday to Sunday. And this is what came for me. The only thing is the Dustin's Magic Club and Event Stage. These are the only unique items that because I played through these updates, I already got these. However, if you're new, this is what comes with it. You get Amazing Jack, you get the Magic Exhibition, you get the Assistant, you get the interesting hideout, the props, I should say, from the events, as well as some old grand prizes and all that stuff. So you get a lot more content if you haven't played this event before. But here we go into mine.
Red Hair Day. Ladies and gentlemen, and monsters, as he wraps up his tour of the country's most unsavory clubs. For one night only. Fortunately, here's the most mediocre magician ever. The Amazing Jack.
For years, I've taken my show to the most pristine adventures across the entire country. You've hired the best magician around, Mrs. Johnson. You can be sure it'll be an unforgettable event.
I hope so, Mr. Chimilo. Everyone in this neighborhood has been waiting for this night.
Jack Chimilo is his name, so place the Amazing Jack's Carnival, caravan I should say, place the luggage, and have him do his first animation, which is walk, Angelo the Invisible Dog. Angelo, yeah. So here's a brief look into that, but hey, just to show you something, yeah, so this is a quick look into it. Very intriguing, by the way, with the whole look. And before we continue on, there is something I want to mention right here. So at this time, you might be looking at this and thinking, oh, well, look at this. I normally would show you my gameplay of the next scene, but unfortunately, like a dum-dum, I accidentally deleted it, so I guess I'm screwed on that one. Fortunately, because of being connected within the community, I happen to have some assistance and help. So this guy decided to give me his gameplay just to show you the actual clip itself so that we're not in the dark. And what I will also say to you is, just, if you're watching this, thanks, Sam. You helped me a lot. They only gave me that name to say thanks for, so, if you're listening, then here you go. So the next clip here was done by Sam, so here we go. At last, I finally got my chance to be the main attraction. I can't believe they've hired me. But now that I'm the main attraction of the event, what do I do? Relax, Jack. You can do this. I shouldn't be afraid of my moment in the spotlight. I can't take living in that trailer for the rest of my life. I need to move forward. Ladies and gentlemen, first let's have a big round of applause for Mayor Johnson for making this possible. And now, are you ready to be transported to a world of wonder? I am the Amazing Jack. Prepare to experience a night of astounding magic. Let the show begin. With that, we're now going back to my channel or my gameplay, and this is all the stuff he has. I'll be showing everything off here, especially the added quests for these updates, because certain quests and characters will not produce the materials anymore. Only selected characters that are main for this quest. It will make sense later on, but you'll notice that a lot of these are going to have this here. You may also mention or notice that Jack is coming up here, and you're wondering why. Well, that's because my game, my bundle glitched, and I have double of everything. And oh boy, whenever anything new happens, there's always bound to be problems. So here's the animation again of him doing the magic Chinese ring trick, which is quite amazing feat. Ooh, how did he do that? So that's done. So now he's back to his little home that he's supposed to be in. But what I will show you is the blending silk. So again, these are animations. If you've seen my playthroughs before, you probably would have seen these anyways, but I'm going to do it again just so you have a good references. So this is another animation he does. A lot of his animations come within his caravan, which isn't bad because the caravan actually looks pretty cool. Building wise for him. There's a little stage and everything like that, and kind of fits his character as all. But yeah, anyways, let's continue on.
Wow, did you see that, Lucy? How could you just pull the handkerchief from his empty hand?
Don't be so naive, Dustin. Magicians don't really do magic. It's just an optical illusions. You see, it's just a trick. He's always had the 4-colored handkerchief hidden in his hand. And one of the metal rings has a small opening for the other ring that can pass through.
Oh, shut up, Lucy. Just because you can't see the true magic doesn't mean you have to ruin the show.
Language. Dustin, know your manners. For this next act, I need to ask you all to be absolutely silent. I need full concentration. The smallest error could result in tragedy.
Sword swallowing? Really? This has to be the lamest show I've ever seen. Shh! Be quiet, Marty. Don't you realize that he's taking his life in his hands?
So anyways, we have to place the sword box, the death saw, and the sword swallowing animation. What's interesting is the other one, like all the items they give you will basically, as long as you put them down, it'll be just play through the quest, craft the items, so. And you might notice if you played these events before, you might have seen these characters' quests pop up out of nowhere. And you're probably wondering why the book's not available. Reason why is because in order to play these events, you'll have to buy the bundles, because they are the only way you're going to get the crafting building. And you have to put them down in order to actually be able to do the required quests that will need you to do it, as well as getting the book prizes. And anyways, you'll see this is the little pop-up that comes up with Bad Hair Day, so you get a full glimpse of what this is offering. But anyways, let's continue on with the quest.
Boo! Hey, amazing hack! That sword is fake! Your dumb handkerchief trick was more of a danger. It could have poured us to death. Can't you guys see it? He just made the blade of the sword disappear with his magical powers.
Now you understand why I did that beginning skit bit.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, prepare to see a truly amazing act. Few magicians in history has achieved such feat. For the first time, you will see a rabbit manifested before your very eyes.
Wow, really? So, yeah, put these down and make him do the rabbit trick. Interesting fun fact. I don't know if I brought this up during my playthrough of the That's No Easter Bunny event, but the reason why magicians used rabbits, especially white ones, was because, A, the white helped contrast with their suits, but the other reason is because rabbits were able to be put in a small little area and not move and be bothersome. And when they take them out of, say, putting in a hat, they'll look bigger than they actually are. So you get a good glimpse of like, oh, wow, this is so interesting and cool. I can't believe the rabbit just kind of manifests itself out of the hat because he's looked bigger. But no, it's because when you're pulling up the rabbit, it flops and it kind of makes it look like it's bigger, but really it's small and compact. You can look into it. It's very intriguing how this whole thing came up to be. But yeah, basically rabbits were very easy, very compact, and they are able to be utilized. So hence why the whole trick of, oh, he manifests out of the hat. And most of the time they have a little pouch that they keep them in. But yeah, a lot of magicians do different things. But yeah, as you see, still a glitchy mess. There's still problems. And it ended up being bad. That I feel bad for the person who was helping me, because it got so bad that they had to keep on resetting my game. And it's like, oh, here, we've reset it, we got this stuff. It's like, no, I just needed this. It's like, okay, here you go. And they're like, no, I didn't need that, I needed this. Because what happened was I bought the bundle and then it immediately crashed, so I didn't get the registry. And I had to actually go ahead and talk to contacts to get, not only get the items I needed, but then also get rid of these extra ones. And, you know, God bless the QA team. I feel bad for them because I'm sure I wasn't the only ones having problems. I'm currently having a problem right now for the third book that got added into the game. Long story short, the quest ended up getting completed even when I bought it. You'll see it through when I play through that quest line. But the biggest thing about it, that you'll notice, is that when that book comes out, it's going to be a while before I'm able to actually do anything. And also his caravan's here now. I don't know why. It's getting into a mess. Oh boy. So anyways, we get this as well, the Dustin's quest. I will go into Dustin's quest more so soon. Gives you a good look at what he looks like here. But again, his whole shtick is going to come up after this one thing here, so I'm going to look into that more in detail when that comes up, so don't worry about Dustin for now. I'm only focusing on this character here, the big boy, yeah, and the Bad Hair Day glitch.
Wait, don't leave, please! I was about to cut Mrs. Johnson in half with a saw!
Hey, magician, why don't you and your stupid rabbit disappear from our town?
I can't believe Mrs. Johnson wasted our tax dollars on such a bad magician.
This evening was even worse than I feared. I'm getting out of here.
This also starts the downfall to Mrs. Johnson's story arc. This is the first ever failure she puts in. To be fair, there were some events that happened that it wasn't her fault, but this was the first of many that would come because of her, you know.
Oh no! I failed yet again! I'll never be a great magician like Houdini, Blackstone, or... Amaz-o? Who is Amaz-o? Whoever he is, I wish I had a magician's cabinet like this! The cabin door is open. I could swear it was closed a moment ago. Let's have a look inside. There's a cape in here. I guess I'll try it on for size. What's happening? It's wrapping around my throat. I feel strange. Strangely powerful. I am free. After so much time, I am free again.
Oh no, he's got possessed. Whatever shall we do? So place the magic exception and give the best show ever, basically. Like, we've already seen animations like that, and I'll show them off at some point here. Yeah, still glitchy, so don't worry about that. The other thing I'll mention is when this update hit, Dustin's quest couldn't be accessed right away. They had to patch that into the update, so yeah, if you're wondering why Dustin have these quests of these items that you can't really do, that's why. So these items are only unique for this particular book.
This cape is amazing! With it I can do what I want. I can do true magic. But I have to be careful. It's like I lost control of my will. But who cares? I have nothing to lose. I'll never achieve anything on my own. From now on, I'll do whatever Amaz-o wants me to.
I almost feel sorry for Jack. Rather than being an honest failure, he preferred to become a successful slave.
And that is the first chapter to Bad Hair Day. It is finally complete. So before we go into chapter 2, I think we're going to take a quick look at the scene that he comes with. Although, technically speaking, I've showed this many times before on the Bad Hair Day update, as well as when it was available for purchase, which was, if you remind myself, I think it was during the... Yeah, I mentioned this before during this video. It was this year, March. I still don't know why they decided to use Amaz-o's cape just to get the robe, but... Alright, creativity. But yeah, as he was introduced, you get to spawn the rabbits as well as Amazing Jack, or in this case, Amaz-o as he's going by now. But yeah, it kind of builds up the lore of what is Amaz-o, and yeah, it's shown that he's possessed at this point. Now, what I will mention is that during the beta, the only available quest actually was to do with Amazing Jack's quest line, as well as a bit of this next chapter coming up. Briefly, you actually do get to see a bit when it comes to, like I mentioned before, the Magic Carnival and the Easter Carnival doesn't get mentioned in this quest line. So, unfortunately, this won't be a full completed look at from what I missed back in when this game first came out. Because, again, I made these videos since September 2018, so... I'll be happy when the squeezers come into book form, because then I can finally be able to redeem that book, because, oh god, that was during my heyday trying to find my footing, and I let some things slip, like swearing, and like I still swear now, but I've kind of made sure to kind of censor and made it more funny. But anyways, now we're going to go into... We did that, and now we're going to chapter 2. Dustin pursues his dream to become the greatest magician, following the steps of his idol, Amaz-o, until he stumbles upon the perfect vessel for the most epic magic exhibition. Meet magical assistant and the true powers behind the magic cape. Imagine that magic system bit, because that is going to be more of a pain when they say that, because that really irked me when they're like, oh, the magic assistant, oh boy. It's like, no, it's not. So anyways, at one point, you will have to have him do a quest here, which is do real magic. This is the only quest he has that is added, and that is dropping this specific book item, which is the wand. So this is a quick look at what that is. What's interesting about this, though, is that these updates, they'll bring back animations that was exclusive for that particular update, so even characters before would keep these updates behind. But let's go back in the past and...
Everything is in place to kick off the biggest magical event HorrorTown has ever seen. All the humans are excited to see the Amazing Jack's show. Especially Dustin. He's, susceptible.
Lucy, we have to go to the magic exhibition. The show is supposed to be amazing.
A magic show? Sure, I'll come along to keep you from getting fooled, if nothing else.
Wow, look how many interesting things there are. Check out these pictures of these magicians, Lucy. Look, Lucy, Harry Houdini! He said he was the best escapist of all time. Wow. Let's get to the main exhibition. There's original costumes of famous magicians there.
Alright, Dustin. But seriously, stop behaving like a little kid.
Yeah, so place Dustin's Magic Club, and also they say place the Hashdashery, which is interesting because it actually was the dollar store.
Lucy, I just decided what I want to be when I grow up. I want to be a magician.
You can do better than that, Dustin. Magicians are frauds. They earn their money fooling people.
Why do you keep saying these magicians are swindlers? They can do real magic. Anyways, there's nothing wrong with entertaining people. No matter what you say, I'm gonna be a magician.
Yeah, so this questline I wouldn't be able to complete because I had to place down Dustin's magic stuff, and it was glitchy, so they had to fix it. Hence why they had to reset everything, because I think originally it was like, oh, you gotta have someone do this, which is like, okay, that's impossible because they don't do that. But yeah, Dustin now has these quests, and he will need these items in order to partake in them. Now, if you play these events before, or if you buy the bundle, you'd get these already. Now, the Hashdashery, which is interesting because originally that was supposed to have the dollar store that was in my town for a while. But I guess they took that away. What I've been told is that they're going to be re-adding it properly like they did with the apple tree. I'm not sure when they're going to be doing that, but I'll try to keep my eye and make sure to say, oh, maybe it'll be good to add this back, you know. I'll keep a tabs on the stuff that that was lost to time, but it's whatever. Yeah, it's a bit of a mess right now, but don't worry, this whole area is going to get fixed up once everything's kind of all together. But yeah, anyways, with that, we're now looking into Dustin's, and this is why Dustin's Magic Club ended up being a thing, because of how everything looked. And yeah, anyways, so this magical assistant, as you'll notice that they have nothing now, but give it good time, they will add more quests once the next chapter goes into effect. And this is when I fixed everything, and unfortunately this thing's still left. I have an extra one now, but I said, you know what, screw it, I'm keeping it there. You know what, whatever, I'll have two. I'll make the sacrifice. And all these other stuff, these were my beta stuff, and I can't get rid of them now. I put them inside my thing, and yep, they can't get out. So I had to get QA to be like, hey, can you remove these for me? All the other stuff I can, but that, no. This update, man, it's so glitchy. And that's probably because I played this event in the beta.
Look at me, Lucy. How do I look? Don't I look like the Amazing Jack?
Oh, I have to admit, Dustin, that top hat suits you. You seem more grown up.
Thanks, Lucy. Do you want to be my assistant? I need someone to cut in half with a saw.
No thanks, Dustin. I appreciate the offer, but I wanted to keep both my halves in one piece.
Funny.
Okay, first I have to improve my skills with the cards. The Amazing Jack can throw cards like boomerangs and catch them on their return flight. It seems difficult, but if I don't practice, I'll never be a true magician like him.
So now we're going to have him do the boomerang trick card and obtain some duplicates and other stuff. Now what's interesting with this is I remember in my quest line I had him do the boomerang trick, and then for some reason the animations just stopped. If you rewatch the playlist, you'll see that happening, and I still have no idea why that happened, but you know, sometimes this game just surprises me with all this stuff. Yeah, so what I'm doing here is I'm just showing you what all these items are dropping so you get a quick look at, but it's just really looking at all the quest lines here, and then when we get to part 3 it will be more of deja vu, because you'll be like, oh, I've seen this before. But yeah, it's going to be basically fixing it up. So here's a close-up look of what his animation is, with Dustin doing the boomerang trick in his little magician's outfit and whatnot. But yeah, gives you a good look at the effort the animation team did to give this character a little bit more life. And you'll be sad to see that some of these characters, only Dustin is the only character that's going to be adding this stuff. All the other ones don't do anything, so oh well, oops. But yeah, whatever, here we go. Let's continue with this.
Wow. How do you do that, Dustin? Can you teach me how? Come on, Dustin, show us. I want to learn to shoot cards like a ninja, too. Sorry, guys, but magicians never reveal how we perform our acts.
Yep, like any true magician.
The number of fans watching my act is going up. Now there's 2. Soon there'll be 3 or more. Fame no longer lets me walk quietly through the streets like I could before I was a magician. I'm almost ready to move on a bigger show. But first I need to get some new gadgets.
Alright, so place this, and then get some magic trick kits. Now what's interesting with this quest line is that you get to see a little bit more of Dustin's mindset when it comes to magician stuff. And it also explains a bit of what happens in this next update. Also, ignore the whole be afraid stuff. That's just, you know, you're gonna have to ignore when these updates have other updates in it. Just pretend as if this is only for the Easter stuff, or, you know, this book. But anyways, yeah, we got the stuff anyway.
With these new props and tricks, I can start my tour of the city. One day, I bet I can tour around the country and be as cool as Amazing Jack.
What do you bet his first trick is gonna be?
In the magic exhibition, it said that Harry Houdini was the best escapist of all time. He managed to free himself from all restraints and escape from any place where he was locked up. I want to try to do that. How hard can it be to escape from a milk container?
All very difficult, especially if it's filled with water. The Great Randy found out that the hard way. Yeah, if you ever look at the Great Randy, he actually talked about that whole scenario, and he's a professional illusionist, as he calls himself. But yeah, interesting. I don't know why. Again, it makes it funny because he actually goes to the milk tank container, but again, Dustin, this questline will bring questions like, how is this even possible? Because at some point he gets stuck and locks himself in there. Yeah, so he's in there as any surprise. And yeah, so it gives you some of the magic stuff for this update, but it doesn't give you everything. So as you'll notice with these updates coming up, that it will give you what is needed, but not everything that is, like, again, I will review each one and tell you whether or not it's worth getting into or not, but I'll talk more about that in a bit. Anyways, we're gonna have to get this, and the only way to do that is we have to craft the hats, these stuff here, and then we're gonna have to spawn the scene, which we've seen before, which is this right over here. Now, what's interesting about this was originally when I think one of the positives when it came to the second run of the That's No Easter Bunny update, they made the Mad Hare house, which you get in this update, or this bundle. And what's interesting about it is that it also spawns a lot more of these characters, so it's kind of like weird how they've turned a character that was a unique monster and then kind of placed him back as its own character. I actually kind of wonder if they'll be able to do that for future characters. Like recently, I think I've watched a certain comment, like I'm getting a lot more people watching my channel now, which is, by the way, for watching, thank you for that. But I remember there was one comment in particular that they were talking about how it would be interesting to have Silent Jenny as a character walk around. And it's interesting because I think she was an original character, and she was the only way you get her is if you spawn her with premium hard currency for the scene, which is no fun. But she has the interesting hammer gimmick of I'm forgetting that guy's name. His whole shtick was just taking the melon and just smashing it. You probably know who I'm talking about, but yeah. It's just, I guess that was probably the reference that they were going with for Silent Jenny. And it seems interesting, that video was so popular in the past with people watching it, and I think it was because it was shorter and people were curious about if they should get Theo. And it was funny because my content was a little bit more lax when it came to the language of sorts. And it was funny because I was just saying like, oh man, she's a talker because, you know, she doesn't talk. But it's like seeing Theo going mad because he's just talking to himself. What's that? Pretty lady, you want me to burn the house? Well, I don't know why. But okay, well, you made a convincing argument. And this becomes narcissist. It's just amazing with this. Also, here's an animation with Dustin, and this is a really cute one. It's like you see the dove, and then it just pops out of existence, and then it comes back again. I think how they do this is that there's like a little black drape that goes over it, so it makes it go, oh, it disappeared. But anyways, here's the conclusion to this story.
Help! I'm stuck in here! Someone help me!
What's that? Wait a moment. Child? Hold on! I'll free you shortly. Dustin Williams. I should have known it was you. Only you would be stupid enough to lock himself in a milk container.
How did he do that?
I'm sorry, Mr. Mortman, but thanks for your help. I thought I'd die in there. Maybe magicians is not the right field for me after all. I guess I'll stick to mischief instead.
Like a shooting star, it seems to have seen the bright light of a young talent begin and end, haven't we?
Wait a minute. I was promised magic assistant.
So that was a lie.
I could have showed you that whole clip, but then I would have to put the warning label, and I didn't want to do that. Yeah, what a liar. They said magic assistant and she didn't appear. Anyways, let's go on to the last chapter, chapter 3. Great Amaz-o finds the perfect opportunity in Amazing Jack's recent failure to give HorrorTown the most terrifying magic show of all times. Contracts neighbors' opinion in a maze with top-notch magic tricks, spawn the bad hairs, and pull off the ultimate horror exhibition. Now this is where you get to see, I've seen this before, because this is the only part from the second run of the bit. And you might be wondering, why is there no pop-up quest for this? Well, that's because the beginning part of it was talking about the Easter update, and as I mentioned before, they're not mentioning anything about a carnival, Easter, or magic, so it doesn't exist. It's only specifically for this book is what's going on here. So yes, you're replaying the event, but you're not getting all of the event, if that makes sense. But anyways, let's revisit back in memory lane.
Hello, Mrs. Mayor.
What? Who said that? Did the mannequin just talk to me? What's going on here?
It is I, the real Amaz-o, speaking to you through this inanimate object.
Wait, this is real magic. And you're Amaz-o? The real one, not the fake one from last show.
Indeed, and I'm here to offer my services for this year's carnival.
Wow, guys, the audio sounds real good. It's better than what it was.
I'm sorry, Mr. Amaz-o, but after the last show, I can't risk having another disaster on my hands. Besides, we don't have the budget to afford you, even if we did want the magic show.
You misunderstand me, madame. My services will be free of charge. I simply want to restore my reputation.
Your reputation? What do you mean?
Last time, an incompetent Charleston posed as me in this town. This damaged my reputation. All I ask is one on HorrorTown where I can offer you town full of my dazzling magic show.
Amaz-o's offer is amazing. This magic show will impress voters without impacting my budget. I still have reservations. I mean, I never got to see the real man behind the mannequin. But, that's what Amaz-o is known for. He's always performing his magic tricks hidden from sight. I have to admit, the mannequin trick was quite impressive. I'm sure things will go well.
Yeah, so as you see, it already passed because I got all the stuff already. So anyways, let's continue on.
Look, Lucy, there's another magic show going on.
Really? I thought that one show would be enough to put a stop to this sort of things.
Oh, one bad show doesn't mean the magic is bad. I bet this one will be different.
Wait, did you just say you were through with magic?
Yeah, anyways, have him do the sponge trick, get some cup, the cup and balls. Yeah, okay, hold on. So obtain cup and balls and then get paper flower. So they haven't changed. They changed what was needed, but they didn't change the dialogue or the actual pop-up window. So you see the picture and you're like, you understand what it is, but then the words tell you differently. So I think they have to change that. Whoops. Yeah. And they probably should, But what's interesting about this is once this quest is done, you really don't need to get these characters to do the animations and whatnot. The only downside to some of the newer characters or with the animation is that you won't be able to see their animation unless you get the useless item that you won't be needing because it won't be useful for anything. And I don't think they're going to utilize this for other future events because of the fact that it will require you to buy in, and they don't want to exclude people because that's the whole thing. Because it's a freemium game, they want to make everyone kind of inclusive. So I can't see them kind of be like, oh, you need the sponge ball, so you need to get it from the Magic Club, and which is like, people won't be happy about that. But yeah, anyways, I'll just have them do that. But regardless of that, there's a lot of stuff to see here. But, yeah, a lot of magic. Oh dear, this has, I've basically tried to rewrite some of this stuff that I did back in the past to make the dialogue a little bit more better and suited. And, probably the future ones, I won't be doing that. I'm just only doing for a select few that I want to improve. Other ones, I'm just going to leave as is. You'll see.
Look, Lucy, I'm telling you there's such a thing as real magic.
Nonsense, Dustin. Magic is just an illusion. It's all a trick to make you see something that's not real.
So what would it take you to believe me? What if you saw a magician do real magic?
I guess if I verify it for myself, I'd believe it. But that will never happen.
It will if you come see Amaz-o's show. Come on, let's go!
Okay, so have the new character do magic card trick and get some wands, I believe it was. So this is the new one, the Relink Hypnosis. This is the new thing that pops up once you get to Chapter 3. So just keep that in mind. It helps you get the blended stuff. As you see, I haven't actually do what I needed to do because, again, I wanted to see what happens. But yeah, they just go into the little caravan thing and that's it. That's the whole shtick. But yeah, you get to see the context of what happened during the second run of this update. They talked about, oh, something happened with this Charleston. Now you got to see what happened. Amazing Jack basically just got booed and then just ended up getting the cape that possessed. And then it's just, the rest is history. He just terrorized the town. And now the real Amaz-o had to come by and say, look, I want to save my reputation. I don't want this Jack to come into my form and just say, oh, I'm whoever. Which is stupid because I think they went by just Amazing Jack. They didn't really go by Amaz-o. I mean, he only put it on after the fact. Oh, yeah. No. What happened here? What's going on? Did he just... he just made himself disappear. What's going on here? Oh, no. Magic glitch happenings. Yeah, so he's back to normal for now. But, yeah, we're gonna have him just go back. I'm gonna have her, well, I say her, but it's really him, So we're gonna have him do the card trick. And, you've probably seen this before in the other ones, but I'll give a quick little look here to show you what it looks like. Throws it up in the air, kind of levitates, the rabbit's kind of doing its little mental gymnastics, and then it just kind of loops from there. But yeah, I do like these two characters' animation, especially the magic assistant, especially when it comes to pulling the rabbit out of the hat, because it's kind of funny in the sense of like the context of everything. But anyways, here we go.
Look at this amazing trick, ladies and gentlemen, performed by me, the dubious Dustin.
I don't think you know what dubious means, Dustin. And I saw you pull the hidden flowers from your sleeve. You should spend some time with dictionaries, Dustin. Dubious means suspicious or untrustworthy.
This magic show is lame. Come on, Marty. Let's go play some video games. But you guys will miss my next trick. It was going to be amazing.
Now, one thing they've added since in August is that now all the title has like a 1 out of this. I think it's just because they want to include it for the special book option, which is what you're seeing now, and you'll see why in a minute.
There. How do you explain that, Lucy? He moved the cards with just his finger, from 10 feet away.
I guess I can't explain that. It certainly looked convincing, but I'm sure there's something going on. You see that figure looking behind that stage? I think he's the one doing the real magic. Let's go investigate.
A lot of jumping around, by the way.
You're not the one doing the magic at all, are you, Amaz-o?
Well, I'm definitely the one on stage that everyone sees, Yes, you're right, girl. This Charleston is merely my puppet, as I am the true Amaz-o.
But you're a mannequin! How is this possible?
Don't worry about the details. Just marvel and wonder my true magic.
Be wondering, why is this whole character doing this kind of what is it? Yeah, why is this character sounding like a guy despite it looking like a girl? Well, namely because he's like, oh, I'm Amaz-o, right? That's why.
Now that we've worked things out with the mayor, the magic show can start. Promptly this time. Let's begin, shall we? Amazing Jack, come here. Yes, Master? Since you destroyed my reputation, it will be your responsibility to restore it. Through my magic cape, I can control you and ensure your performance of magic correctly. Now, go put on a good show.
I don't know why this whole special magic oogly boogly sound effect kind of is like weird with the audio. It's weird with this programming, but it's the only one that makes sense because, again, I'm working with what I got. But also, by the way, this little, like, you get to see near the end, but this whole clip is only utilizing the last of the old phone's look. So this whole laggy bit is not going to be the case when it comes to the new phone that you'll see, because, well, needless to say, I've improved the quality, and you'll find it out soon. Also, these videos, this one in particular, took so long, and I still am trying to catch up with a lot of stuff as I'm still falling behind. At the moment of this recording, I'm still doing August stuff, and then it's still September. It's like almost the end of September. And not only that, but then there's also other stuff too that I'm working on, like the final look at all the stuff that I've missed, apparently. And what sucks about it is that because I'm such a small channel at the moment, until I get to at least 1,000, I won't be able to utilize the community tab. And when I do have the community tab, it'll make my life a lot more easier, because then I can communicate with you guys, or whoever takes interest in watching these, so I can tell you, hey, this is what I'm working on. It's going to take a few days or so, staying tight. It's coming up soon, rather than you going like, oh, what's going on with Grim? Is he okay? I hope he's alive.
Huh? I can't believe they're doing another magic show after what happened last time. And isn't that the same magician as before?
Yes, my dear boy, the Amazing Jack is back, and... You idiot! Don't say yourself a name! You're really my assistant! You restore my reputation! Obey! Yes... I mean, welcome to Amaz-o's magical show. Be prepared to be enthralled and thrilled by real magic.
Smooth save there, Jack.
You could try to change your name, but you're still that fraud that embarrassed himself last time. You look a bit different, but you're definitely the same loser.
You dare the question, Amaz-o? Then tell me, was the last show half as impressive as this one?
Oh wow. You're levitating that thing with no strings at all. Maybe this show is real deal after all.
Yes, indeed. Now, go forth and tell people to stop spreading these false rumors about Amaz-o. For you too shall do my bidding. Ha ha ha!
Anyways, play the magic exhibition again, get some capes again, and place this woman in half again. Which I already did, so we just have to play the scenes a bunch of times. Which is funny because like, oh, play this scene and then get the cape, which is like, well, I'm killing two birds with one stone then in that case. Aren't I? Get to have fun with this. Yeah, so we got to see the rabbits jumping up and scaring while Amaz-o's just... I call him Amaz-o, his real name is Jack, but Jack is just kind of whacking people with a stick. His magic stick. And, it's interesting too because this update also tells you what his real name is, this guy who's pretending to be Amaz-o. Is like Jack, I've already lost his last name, but it's interesting how they kind of give this guy a character personality. I'm actually kind of curious on what they base this reference on for him, because I really do like the drawing of his whole persona of sorts. And the in-game model's not that bad either, but I digress. This whole event, when this came out previously, I think I mentioned before I never played the actual first one that came back in June, but I did play through the beta, so I ended up missing out on the new changes of sorts. I ended up, I think, mostly trying to justify myself as showing you all that was there, but yeah, you know, you can't all be winners. Anyways, after this little bit of him scaring, we should be able to get the last cape and then continue on with the quest line, as we'll see just a moment, and then continue on with the story that you probably already know if you've seen through my Easter of 2019. Oh yeah, and I love the fact that he's still glitched there, by the way.
Listen, Dustin, this magic show is different. Amaz-o used real magic. But Lucy said it's all fake. And she's usually right. Not this time. Trust me, I saw him levitate objects right in front of me. Well, you're probably right. But I'm going to be bringing Lucy along. Just in case.
You've done well under my command. Isn't it better than being a failure under your own free will? See, however, the ones that you must experience the power of the consolation. Yes! Amazing Jack, it was great. The crowd loves me. You must say my probably if you don't want to feel like wrath. But no matter. Audience rules I command your actions. And you know what that means? It means I'll get the amazing wealth that comes from merchandising sales. That's where the big money is.
Went George Lucas on us, and oh boy, there's this quest. And it's as annoying as ever, because if you remember my complaining when this happened back in April, same problem premised. So the one item is fine, but the other two is going to be a pain to have it pop up. Luckily, unfortunately for you, you don't get to suffer through how long I have to wait in order for me to get the item to come and pop up. But this resulted in me refreshing everything and hoping to the RNGesus that he would give me the grace to be able to sell these two items at least, and hope I didn't sell all of them, because who knows what the book prize required me to skiv it.
Wow, this Amaz-o is the real deal. He's amazing, even if he looks like a store dummy.
As if you could tell the difference between a real and fake magic anyways, you simple child.
Hey, I'm not simple. At least I don't look like I belong in a cheap department store.
Yeah, like the Mayfield Bazaar.
That's because you look like you belong in a pile of trash. A street urchin. Ha ha!
Oh yeah? Well, I'm taking your box of tricks. Then, see if you can catch me without working legs. Ha!
Oh, you showed him, Dustin.
Maybe I shouldn't have taken Amaz-o's box of tricks. But I'm home safe. Let's see what's in here. Oh man! Look at these awesome gadgets! I bet I can do anything with them! Look at me! I'm a real magician now! Even if I don't understand how it works. Hey everybody! Get over to my house if you want to see a real magic show! You'll be amazed!
So anyways, pet the rabbit, do the dove trick again, and then get some other stuff, like as per usual. But what's interesting about the only downside, like I can forgive the devs for not adding all of the quests that were associated with this update, but they've left out the most important one, the one that everybody loved. Where's the Lucy turning into a rabbit bit? I want that back. Oh man, it was so great because it had this one little animation and then that's it. And then not only that, but then also Clarissa of all things had a unique animation, which is just her making bunnies appear and reappear back. If you're curious, you can always look back into my playlist or playthrough of that. But yeah, that was a unique animation. I'm surprised she didn't get included with this, but I'm guessing they want to associate and keep things to still kind of like not mixed up and cluttered, that they're just all, whoever was involved with the story gets involved with the story and everything else is just kind of like, whatever. Second nature. Who cares? But yeah, here are the stuff and questions, and we're going to go on from here. So, anyways, we get the stuff, and then we're going to continue on with the story, and the story is going to go a lot more quickly, and you're going to see. Also, I've added a few more special effects when it comes to the next bit.
Watch, everyone. I'll make a dove appear from thin air. Oops, it's got stuck to my shirt. No worries. Watch as I make these rings levitate. Oh, darn. They shot away and broke the window.
This is kind of boring, Dustin. I'm getting hungry. You should have brought snacks for your show. Maybe I'll eat one of these carrots you have for your rabbit here.
And now Lucy's become a rabbit. We don't have the animation, unfortunately, like we did the other update, and I have no idea why the assistant is being highlighted.
Oh no! Lucy disappeared! Or transformed? She's turned into a rabbit!
Oh no, not a rabbit. Whatever should we do?
I gotta find a way to turn Lucy from a rabbit back into a girl. I guess I have to ask Amaz-o for help. There's the guy from on stage, but he's acting funny. Like he's a puppet or something. But there's a big rabbit gesturing. Whatever he does, the mannequin and Amaz-o do it. Listen, rabbit, what's the deal here? Are you the thing behind this whole deal? Because I need some help.
I am the one in charge, yes. You see, many years ago I was turned into a rabbit by a nefarious magician. His name was Maglani, and in his anger he cursed me to take this form. But your friend will soon turn back. The magic is temporary, and she'll be fine. However, I could use an enterprising lad like yourself as my assistant. Are you interested?
I just need a rabbit. Place the bad hair house and you're all good. Yeah, reference to that. That was hilarious when that whole thing just kind of matched up together. Yeah, 9/11. Ooh, nice number placement there, Grim. Oh boy. Yeah, we're still doing this bit here, unfortunately, but we're gonna get to the end of this quest line. And, yeah, interesting how everything just kind of falls into place now, doesn't it? Let's see what happens now.
Really? I could be your assistant? I love magic, so that'd be great!
However, working with me will require some, sacrifices of a small nature. You see, you would have to become a rabbit permanently. Then you can take part of the show.
It will just take a single bite to transform you into a magical rabbit. What do you say?
Aye! Help! I'm getting out of here!
And just like that, he runs away. So the last thing here is to spawn the Mad Hare house, get some carrots, and reach a scarometer. Thank God it's not reached the end of the scarometer, because that would be a pain in the, tax pain. Let's put it that way. So this is the same as before with the animations, but here is the magical assistant. Also, speaking of the magical assistant, I love the fact I mentioned the whole Mayfield Bazaar thing, because, yeah, the mannequins are certainly one of the interesting inspirations I decided to take from it. And I do love the reference they made of the character, or the mannequins of sorts, because they really do stand out as far as the whole facade goes. But yeah, anyways. So we're going to see her scare around for a little bit, and then eventually we'll get to the end for both of these things. And then from there we'll end it off, see what the book it needs, and then end the conclusion. What you'll also notice when it gets to the end book prize, if you have the item already, you will notice that it won't put another one down, so you don't get doubles. If you have it, then you have it, but you will get the rewards from the bottom, so like money, experience, all that stuff, you get that. You just don't get the prize because you already have it in your town, if that makes sense. So in this case, because I won the magic rabbit statue, then I don't get another one, so that's unfortunate. But yeah, we're still waiting on this, unfortunately, so this is going to be a pain until we finally get those two sold. But yeah, regardless, I do like the fact they included one of the special Easter items, which is the interesting, scary decoration there. I ended up getting that. I think it was exclusive for the bundle that was included for like the break the event bundle. I remember that. That was so weird with the whole thing that they've gotten there. I have no idea why, but it's just hilarious. The break the event, like really. Oh boy. But yeah, anyways, this is gonna be intriguing once we finally get done with all this stuff. But yeah, I think after this scare scene is done, we should be able to finish this off and go from there. So, clicky click, hit the scares, and then the check mark should pop up about now-ish. Yep, there we go, and here we end.
I thought I'd never get away, but I'm glad to see you back to normal, Lucy.
I feel normal, but I have a craving for carrots for some reason. Do you know why?
Nope. No, definitely no idea about that. But I do know one thing. Let's never ever talk about magic again. Ever!
Sure, Dustin. But I thought you liked magic.
Yeah, so that's the end of that. We still have this though, unfortunately, so we're not fully done. Like, we're technically done, but not really, because we have to do this annoying bit. You would think that they would fix it, but no, they didn't. So bear with me as we get to this point, as yeah, because after a few moments or so, I end up getting the first of the two items, which is the hat. Luckily, I just need to sell one, so that's good. And the last item is going to be popping up, which is going to be the Amaz-o capes, which is going to be right about now. So now we're finally done with the quest, so let's end it.
There's no other way to get power than through amassing money. It's magical. Yes, and I'm the one raised up by the roar of the adoring crowd. At last, look at me, world!
Are all magicians insane? All I know is, both of these ones are.
Yeah, you didn't get to see much of Curly, but you finally get the proper Curly voice, because I remember this was the first update that I also tried to do the voices, kinda, but not really. But you know, this was like gonna lead into the whole fix. But yeah, now we've finally done everything. So here's the grand prize, the epilogue. This is what you need for it. Pretty simple, not too complicated, not too crazy, because you have some characters already. This will be an easy get. It's just going to be a while for you to get all the stuff. So the first thing you'll probably get easy is this link, the relinked hypnotist, in order to get this first item, which is going to be the cloths. Then what I ended up doing was the new phone now is in place, as you can see with the added screen on the side there, but ignore that because it's not going to be here for long. I mentioned here that there is this character. One of the things is that I was trying to find out what other characters can do with tin cans, and she can do that, so that makes life easier. And then I think at this point I ended up getting, I got all 3 of these items all at once. So now we're going to turn all of them in, and you get to see what happens once you do. So we get all this stuff here, and claim. And just like that, we're done. The special book, our first special book, done. We got everything we needed, as you see, completed. And that's because I had the rabbit statue already, which I'm going to show off right down here. No, not there. I wanted to make sure, did I get the... No. So this is where it is. This is what it looks like. It drops this, which isn't too bad, but the drops, the hours is not that great. But, yeah, that's it for this update. So, with what you saw, is this worth the price? If you are a new user and you've missed out on this, yeah, I would say it is. Just because you're getting a lot for this bundle. It's going to be a lengthy one, and it gets some pretty interesting animation and characters, so you're getting a great deal. But for people like myself and others, it's a hard sell. Mind you, there's a lot of content there, but like for me, I ended up spending $20 on just 2 items. One of them is needed, the other one's not so much. It's it's debatable. If you played this before, you can probably live without having to play through it. But yeah, it's gonna be a mix. If you're new, then yes. If you're old and you've played through this or you got some items, it's going to be a flip for you, what you get and what you don't. And you will decide whether or not if you feel like this is worth the value. Hopefully this playthrough kind of gives you a good look at what this comes with and make your own conclusion. And I do hope you enjoy some of these other revisited specials, because some of the next one, oh boy, it's interesting with some of the... you'll see when it comes up. The next story is going to be that of the Welcome to Dead House, which was an interesting pick, I must admit. But that'll be it from me. So, let me know down below what you thought of this bundle and playthrough, and if any suggestions of what you would like me to focus on when it comes to this kind of content, I'd like to hear from you. But anyways, that'll be it from me. I hope you enjoyed the video, and bear with this hour-long video. I'm Grim, and I'll be seeing you next time for whatever Goosebumps HorrorTown revisited special we have in store. So until then, the magic act is done, the show is gone, and the magic of the rabbit is no more.